So here are some tips on how to land your dream video production client. Now, we've had the luxury of working for some global brands all over the world on some really amazing and unique projects. So it's fair to say we have a good amount of experience when it comes to this. So my first tip is that you need to do your in-depth research. Follow your dream client on every platform there is, but don't approach them just yet. You need to be aware of their tone of voice, what kind of things that they're doing. So down the line when we pitch to them, you know and have an understanding of how that brand works, and that you can show them something in line with what fits in with their brand, rather than just showing them some random content that doesn't necessarily connect with them on that deeper level. The other thing you should be researching is, who is the person you need to speak to? Is it the business owner or is it the marketing manager? And on top of that, if they're a large global company that you want to do work for, do they use an external marketing agency? Do they already use a different agency or a video production company? If you can find out all of that information, it will give you the best chances of getting in front of the right people that will then be able to get you the work for your dream client. And I'm going to circle back in on this later when we put all of these tips together, and it will make so much more sense on actually how to land that client. But the next thing you're going to need is you're going to need to do work within that industry. If you've got a portfolio of clients within that specific niche, so let's say this is for a car commercial, you should have worked for different car brands in the past, and you can work your way up from the start if you're just starting out on your journey, working perhaps with small second-hand car sales garages, all the way through to potentially dent repair companies. One of our clients in particular deals in high-end specialist dent repair, so we get to film supercars all the time. So if you want to build up your portfolio to pitch to a major car brand perhaps, then you're going to want examples of work within your industry and start to work within that. And in essence, that's what gives you your niche. Your niche is about being able to talk their language. So for instance, when they use a particular term, you know exactly what that means, but even better, you can teach that to someone else, and when you're pulling together your pitch or your email later on, you can use the terminology that's going to connect with them, and they know that you're the right person for the job. Naturally, if you're doing work within the industry, then my next tip is going to be to build a banging portfolio. And you're going to want to think outside the box here. Whether you're an established business or not, you're going to maybe want to work on some amazing passion projects. So basically pitching some ideas to companies. Obviously, first of all, see if you can get paid for your ideas. But if your clients within that industry aren't keen, or they don't have the budgets because you're just starting out or they're a small business, then why not work on a passion project? I never forget, there's an Audi commercial that a group of filmmakers did. They did it for free. One of their friends had just bought an R8, or they knew someone who had the new R8, and they put together a spec video. They actually went out and shot a spec commercial for Audi as if it was for Audi. Obviously, it wasn't for them. And that then led to them getting a huge amount of business and car commercials within that sector. They put their investment, they put a lot of money behind it to make it reality, but if I can try and find it or try and link it below, it might be quite difficult to find now. I'm talking, this is going back years and years, but it just always sticks with me how they put together this passion project, and for an industry they were passionate about, and it was their stepping stone to completely open the doors for work for their dream clients. So you should think about building a banging portfolio. Sometimes business is a lot like dating, so you got to think about it. You're not going to try and sell everything you've got at your first meeting. You're not going to be talking about getting married, having kids and future plans if you've only just met this person. Sales is a little bit similar. So why not think about, where are your ideal clients going to be hanging out? Are they going to any particular events? Are they attending seminars and trade shows? Are they doing networking events? Where do they hang out in the evenings? That sounds real stalkerish, that does. Don't stalk your ideal client, that's not what I'm saying. But if you're aware of where they're hanging out, then you might be able to cross paths with the right people within that industry, whether that's your dream client or people who look like that particular client. And that's gonna help you build up relationships, and those relationships can lead to referrals. And that leads me nicely onto my next tip. Referrals are going to be the way to fast track your business to your ideal client. If you could imagine this, you've been working working within the industry for a year and you've built up an amazing portfolio and you have a lot of clients within that space, do you think it's likely that those clients that you've networked with, or those people that you've met and those people that you do work for, and they love your work, do you think it's likely that they would know someone within the industry that gets you one step closer to your ideal client? Perhaps they even know that ideal client, or they know the production company that they're currently using, or they know the marketing agency that they're currently using. The odds start to become more and more in your favor when you are so ingrained within that industry. So you need to look out for referrals, because that's going to be a quick way to fast track yourself in there. So instead of going straight to your ideal client and me doing a video saying, oh, just email your ideal client and you're going to get the job, the chances of that happening are very slim. And the bigger that client is, the less and less chance you've got of actually getting through those doors. So we're trying to find a back route into your ideal client so that we can work on referrals. We work on building up everything necessary so that you look like the business that they want to work with when you do either present yourself or you get referred to them. And before we move on to my final tip, this is what I meant about this coming around full circle. If your dream client uses a marketing agency, perhaps they don't do video production in-house, perhaps they outsource it, or they use a video production company already, but that video production company outsources it to freelancers, which I know happens a lot of the time. I've got a lot of friends that work on major commercials for well-known brands, and you know, I'm often very envious and very jealous of the projects that they get to work on. And that's because they work freelance for that production company, who is sometimes employed by the marketing agency who works with the ideal client that they want to work with. So sometimes, yes, the likelihood of you going from where you are right now to being the go-to filmer for your dream customer is depending on a number of factors, but it's generally quite unlikely the bigger that business is. So a better approach might be to work out, and if you have a clear understanding of all of those structures within the business, do you need to speak to the marketing manager, the marketing agency, the video production company? They're the people you want to have the conversations with. And just because you have your own video production company doesn't mean that you can't work white label for other production companies. That's something we've done in the past before, and that's another reason we've been able to work with global clients, is because we've worked as a white label for other marketing agencies and video production companies. So that's a really nice way in through the door so that you still get to work for your dream client, but unfortunately you're just a few steps removed from getting the big bucks. Now, if your dream client is a bit smaller, or you simply have got nothing to lose, then it all falls on my final tip, which is outreach. You need to outreach to them, but only after you've done these things. If you're sending an outreach message to someone and you don't keep up to date with what they've been doing, then your email is going to be very generic and not very personal. Whereas again, if you know everything about that business, you can send them a bespoke email or a bespoke message, or even give them a call and say, hey, I just noticed that you went to that event recently. How was it for you? Or, hey, I noticed that you've just won an award. Just wanted to say congratulations on that. That's actually what brought you to my attention. Or, hey, I've been watching you guys for a while. I actually love your products. I actually use a lot of them. Here's a photo of me on set wearing your clothing, if you're outreaching to a clothing brand. Again, I'm just thinking of these things from the top of my head, but it's all about building up that instant connection when you send that message. And if you've done everything that I've mentioned in these previous steps, in that message or phone call or that meeting, if you get a meeting with them through a referral, or you meet them at a trade show, or however you come to cross paths, success is where opportunity meets preparation. The steps I've mentioned are the preparation. Then we're talking about the opportunity. What happens next? Now, if you've done the preparation correctly, you'll be able to show them an amazing portfolio. You'll be able to show them that you know the industry well enough and that you can provide the solution to their problems, because that's really important. People aren't getting videos done because they just want a video done. They want a video done because they want more brand awareness. They want to increase sales, or they want something else. So understanding what they want to overcome and how video fits in with that will position you as the expert and make sure that you're so much more likely to land your dream client. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. So please leave a comment. Let me know what tip you thought was best, or something that you think that potentially you could do extra that would help the community. And if you're unsure about even how to outreach in the first place, then start to watch this video right now. I'll go through a lot of key strategies that we still use within our video production company right now. If you're not subscribed like a lot of you, then please press the subscribe button. It's free to do so, and you can always unsubscribe later if you don't like the value that we're putting out on this channel. That seems crazy. Press the subscribe button. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.